You know, when you think of Ichiro Suzuki, the word genius just pops into your head, right? But what if I told you his genius wasn't some kind of magic gift he was born with, but a system? That's what we're diving into today. We're going to break down Ichiro's art of consistency, a framework that's so powerful you can actually use it to change your own life. Let's do this.
Listen to this quote from Ichiro himself. "A genius is simply a person who can sustain their efforts." Wow. With just that one sentence, he completely flips the script on what we think greatness is. It's not about some flash of lightning, some innate talent you either have or you don't. Nope. It's all about the discipline to just keep going, day after day. That's the core idea here. Success isn't born, it's built.
So what is this Ichiro-style art of consistency really? Well, think of it like a system for turning your everyday habits into an absolute art form. The whole point is to make being excellent repeatable. You're basically engineering a process so that your best work isn't just some happy accident, right? It becomes the expected outcome. It's all about taking luck and chance completely out of the picture.
Okay, so how did he actually build this system? It really boils down to 3 core rituals. And the first one is what I like to call the constant. It's this brilliant method he used to control his physical state, which created an absolutely unshakable foundation for performing at his best.
And this leads us right to his famous curry habit. I'm sure you've heard the story, but the real genius here isn't what he ate, it's why he ate it. This had nothing to do with taste. It was a totally calculated move of self-management. See, by keeping his meal exactly the same, he turned his body's condition into a known, predictable thing, a constant. That meant his performance became a probability, not just some random variable.
So how can you actually use this? It's super simple. On those really important days, a big presentation, a major deadline, just standardize your lunch. Pick one meal you know works for you and stick to it. What this does is it completely eliminates decision fatigue. You're not wasting mental energy on what should I eat? All that brain power gets saved for what really matters. It's such a small tweak, but believe me, the impact on your focus is huge.
And hey, this isn't just some theory, okay? The author of the book this is based on actually tested it. For a whole week, they ate the same brand of curry for dinner. And the result? A noticeable, measurable boost in their morning productivity and focus. It was so obvious that even their boss made a comment about it. It's just a powerful example of how a simple routine can totally unlock better performance, whether you're a pro athlete or, working at a desk.
All right, so building on that foundation of a constant physical state, we get to his second ritual, perfect preparation. This one is all about how Ichiro got his body and his mind perfectly aligned, ready to go, ready for peak performance without fail, every single time. Now, Ichiro's pre-game stretching routine, it was way more than just a warm-up. It was really a ritual with 2 parts. First, it was about his responsibility, his professional duty to do his best today. But second, and this is just as important, that identical routine he did every day acted like a diagnostic tool. It let him get so in tune with his body that he could feel the tiniest changes and deal with them before they ever became a real injury. And you can totally create your own version of this. Before you dive into a deep work session or head into a big meeting, just design a simple 5-minute ritual for yourself. Seriously, it could be anything. Deep breathing, tidying up your desk, maybe reviewing your notes in the exact same way every time. What it does is it acts like a switch. It signals to your brain, okay, it's go time. Time to get focused. Okay, on to the third and final ritual. This one is all about bridging the gap between our external world and our internal state. See, Ichiro knew that if you want a focused mind, you first have to create a focused environment. He called this the tidy mind. So Ichiro was famous for keeping his locker and all his gear just perfect, immaculate. He'd even be the first guy to pick up a piece of trash if he saw it. But why? Because he had this core belief. A cluttered environment leads to a cluttered mind. Simple as that. For him, truly respecting his own performance meant leaving no stone unturned, whether anyone could see it or not. It's all about controlling every single input that affects your concentration.
The application for us today is pretty obvious, but man, is it powerful. Keep your physical desk and your digital desktop organized. A clean workspace cuts down on all that external noise and visual distraction. And this isn't just about feeling good, it literally helps your brain process information faster and more efficiently. That frees up so much mental energy for the work you actually need to do.
So, these 3 rituals, they're incredibly effective, for sure. But you have to understand, they're just the outward signs of something much deeper.
They're part of an internal framework, Ichiro's core philosophy. This is the mental engine that powered his consistency year after year and turned these simple habits into a legendary career.
And this next quote, it just perfectly captures his whole worldview. He said, "Piling up small things is the only path that leads to unimaginable distances." He just knew that huge achievements don't come from one single heroic moment. No, they're the result of relentlessly, consistently piling up those small efforts day after day.
Let me give you another really powerful example from the author. They started out with a super small goal. You know what? I'll just try making one video. But then they sustained that effort and ended up making 40 videos in total. Now, the result wasn't some viral explosion. It was something way more valuable, though. 4 subscribers and some kind comments. That tiny victory was all the proof they needed. It was the fuel to keep on piling up those small actions.
So that begs the question, right? Where does that motivation to keep going even come from? Well, as you can see here, there are really 2 types. Most of us, we run on external validation. We're driven by praise. We're worried about criticism from other people. But Ichiro, he operated on what we'll call the Ichiro standard. His motivation was completely internal, and that is the key to being resilient. When your standard is your own, you become unshakable. You're just focused on one thing, meeting your own high standards. And this, right here, is the secret to building real, genuine, unshakable confidence. You have to stop looking for validation from other people. Instead, you draw your confidence from the simple act of doing the work, from executing your own plan, from the discipline of just following the routines you set for yourself. See, confidence isn't something you go out and find. It's something you build, one consistent action at a time.
All right, we've talked about the what and the why behind Ichiro's system. But now we're at the most important part, the how. How do you take all these powerful ideas and actually put them into action in your own life? Let's get practical.
So here is your simple game plan. First, standardize your lunch on those important days to sharpen your focus. Second, create a quick 5-minute prep ritual to get your mind ready for peak performance. And third, just embrace the power of piling up small efforts. Make that your new normal. Always remember, Ichiro's genius wasn't some gift from the heavens. It was a standard he set for himself and lived by every single day.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Which one of these Ichiro-style routines are you going to try? Which one will you start today? Will it be the constant, perfect preparation, or the tidy mind? Just pick one, because as Ichiro proved to the world, that very first small, consistent step, well, that can lead you to unimaginable places. Thanks for checking out this explainer.